Welcome. Today we have Favor, growth hacker, web developer, really great at social branding. Hi, Favor. How are you? He is from Nigeria. I love people from Nigeria. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Francesco. Finally, great to see you and hear your voice.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, I was expecting some yellow wall, but maybe in the future we will see this when he will repaint this. And
Yeah.
we are joking about this, but for example, I love his Twitter profile. By the way, I will put some links in the description. Check them out. Because we are here because I was really attracted by his brand. Let's say that for me, it's not really a problem to create content. I made kind of a lot of videos, I post a lot of stuff. But for me, for example, branding is a bit a problem. Now I'm trying to improve, also looking for help. Let's talk a little bit more about yourself because I make these interviews also to know a little bit more each other. This is not, by the way, a one-way interview. I'm not a journalist, so feel free to also ask some questions. So can you tell me and us a little bit about your story? How did you become a developer? Something interesting if you have. Thank
Okay.
you.
As you guys already know, my name is Favor. My full name is actually Favor. All right. So, in case you want to know my last name, well, so my coding journey started in 2011. Okay, that's actually when I started coding. Writing codes, watching video tutorials, trying to learn more about coding. But my interest in it actually started when I was, I think, 8 years old. But the first programming language I ever set my eyes on was Java. And upon looking at it, I, I, I think I told myself, yeah, this is not what I'm going to be doing. It was so complicated. And I mean, I was just 8. I mean, what am I going to do? Yeah. So fast forward to 2011, I had better access to the internet and I was more on Google and searching of stuff. Then I stumbled upon HTML and CSS tutorials. That's what catapulted me to this whole world.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you have studied a lot. Which is your favorite technology? Which is your favorite part in development? Because if we say development is basically a word or maybe multiple
Yeah.
words inside that, but which is your favorite part?
My favorite part of web development is backend, actually. Yeah. At first, it was
Nice
front
answer.
end, but
I like it.
when I saw what I could do with backend, I was like, no. Yeah, backend is the way to go for me. Yeah.
And by the way, I think that nowadays we can expand our possibilities. We can also learn a little bit of front end, a little bit of back
Yes.
end. It's
Yes.
not like 20
Yes.
years ago, so we can even work on both sides. But I was talking about your favorite one. For example, when they say
Yeah.
this to me, I talk about DevOps and Docker, and I talk about this about
Yeah.
about 2 hours, for example. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So. What about instead social media in general? For example, have you ever been a social media person? For example, this is not my case. Or when have you started to get serious about social media? Because I've seen that now you are growing very fast on Twitter. But
Yeah.
how has been also your story as a social media on the social media?
How I got into social media in general was I was part of this learning community called the Andela Learning Community. I don't know if you've heard of it before. A company called
No.
Andela. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they were giving away some scholarships for cloud Android development on I think it's called the Google Associates program, something like that. Yeah, so I actually got in, and there was this guy. He's always telling us to come on Facebook to check out his post, and he was actually one of the leaders in the community. I think, yeah. Upon visiting his page, I stumbled across some other guys who he was following, and those guys were like always putting out content on Twitter and stuff. Yeah, then I think that's when I found Danny Thompson. That was the first time I ever saw Danny Thompson. This was
Yeah,
actually
really.
like yeah, this was actually like 6 months ago. Yeah, I discovered Danny
Wow.
Thompson, Pratam, the other Pratam, then Santiago. Yeah, the moment I found Santiago, I was like, oh wow. I mean, I've always wanted to get into like machine learning and stuff, you know.
Yeah. And by
And
the, yeah, and by
actually,
the, yeah, and by the way, this was not scripted, but I have had Danny Thompson, both of Pratam
yeah,
and Santiago, all on my channel. So for now, I've had them all. Pratam, Pratkum 2 times. So
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
let's keep going. Yeah, because
yeah,
it's really interesting. For example. I don't know when I started following you, but I really
Yeah.
liked your account since the beginning. And I said to you, I'm keeping an eye on you in a good sense. You remember for these few weeks?
Yeah, you
And
said that.
that was true. That was true. So now we are here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was like, I had discovered them, and the person who actually made me, want want to spend more time on social media was Pratham, the CSS, the CSS one. I mean, he was when I started following him, he had like 40,000 followers, I think, and he was making this amazing CSS art. And I was like, wow, I mean, this is awesome. Like, I've never seen such a thing before. When you're not on social media, you don't really know what's going on. Like, I had a chance to see what all these amazing people were doing, and I was like, oh no, no, I have to get into this. So what happened was that I already had a Twitter account actually. I had created it in I think 2009 or 2011. I can't really remember. Yeah. So what I did was I took a normal profile picture. It wasn't actually a picture of me, just some. I think they're called emoticons or avatars. Yeah. I used that. Just got some normal bio descriptions. I put it there, and I was ready to go. I just started following all those guys that initially inspired me. When I met Santiago would always talk about machine learning, and at the end of some of his threads, he would just put this link to he'll say something like, "You want to grow your Twitter profile? I have this Gumroad course and stuff." And yeah, I was like, I mean, I had created my Twitter account. I wasn't really posting stuff. I was just a consumer, and I mean, I could actually help. Only way for me to help people on social media is if I got noticed. And I think Santiago had a discount on his course. So yeah, I just decided to buy it, and I started watching his data growth, techniques and
Yeah.
stuff. And then I was ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was 4 months ago.
For example, I know Santiago pretty well. He is also
Yeah.
Twitter Space addicted. We
Yeah.
talk on Twitter Spaces. But for example, I didn't know this. I'm glad that I've invited you here because
Yeah.
sometimes on Twitter, let's say, okay, Twitter is nice, but sometimes it's messy. So
Yeah.
you can't read everything about everyone. So now I know something more, and this
Yeah.
is really interesting. So I think that you started with the right foot. You start to follow some people. I know them all.
Yeah.
You start by following some people and learning from
Yeah.
them for what they do.
Yeah.
So we watch
Yeah.
them if something, and I'm not talking about copying, but just getting
Yeah.
inspired, understand
Exactly.
what could work for you and what could not. You don't have to
Yeah.
do something because someone else is already doing that, because this could not work for you. I made more than
Exactly.
100 interviews on this series. Something works for someone, something doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
We've had here people with almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and they don't have an Instagram account, for example. So this is so yeah this
Yeah.
it depends on what you do. How do you like to expose
Exactly.
yourself? I have a lot of questions. Let's make some of them.
Okay.
Are you still also now using other social media or just Twitter? I say this because I know you from Twitter. So for example, or are you planning to move on other platforms? When so what about your social media in general?
Right now, I'm only on Twitter, but I do have other social media profiles on Instagram, Facebook. Right, I'm not actually taking them serious right now.
Yeah, for example, I had a similar strategy. I started to use Twitter, and after some months, after 20,000, 25,000 of followers, I started on YouTube. It's better to focus on one social media at the beginning. And once you have a good
Yeah.
following there, or
Yeah.
you understand the platform, you can move on. This is what, for example, now I'm trying some stuff. So I agree with this strategy. So this
Yeah.
could work also for you. I have another question about
Okay.
the color, the branding, because we all recognize you as the yellow guy, the guy in yellow. So why the yellow? Is there a specific reason?
Okay, I'm a very big fan of Bumblebee actually. So yeah, yellow is one of my favorite colors. I would
Ah,
say yeah, I like yellow because it stands out in such a way that it pierces your eyes. And having the color yellow around whatever it is you're trying to build a product, it draws attention. Yeah, and me
ah,
personally, I've always loved yellow.
nice. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
like that it's a mix. It's not just used for psychological reasons. You can check all the yellows. We can talk about for hours about colors, why something is addicting,
Yeah.
something is good, something is bad. Every color can be intended as good or bad. So thank you, because this was really one of the reasons why I wanted you to come here, because yeah, it's great. For example, how you use that. I think you have also a Discord server, right? Or do you have a community? So can you talk about, for example, if you are working to create a community or something? I think I've seen something on your site.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I call it the yellow squad actually.
Yeah, I remember now. Yes.
Yes.
So
So
what about this?
right now I'm not really putting more effort into it, but I'm trying to get a lot of a lot of following around it before I start putting more effort into it. But basically the yellow squad is just a I mean it's actually I no, I think the actual title is the growth evangelist, but I just put it as the yellow squad. So basically
Nice.
it's actually a newsletter. Okay, it's a newsletter on how to grow as a developer, how to
Nice.
grow your social media presence. Yeah, so
Nice.
that's what it's about on a basic level.
Okay, Fabor, can you spoiler something about how to grow on social media? So we will make maybe a very small, very short course. For example,
Okay.
yeah, what would you like to say? For example, what you should do, and also what you should not do.
Okay, okay. So growing on social media is actually it's not easy. Yeah, it's not something easy. At least that's something you should keep in mind. I'm not the best expert in this sort of field, but I
Okay.
mean, with what I've learned so far, what I can say is that when you're trying to grow on social media, you'll have to sort of you have to pick a niche. I mean, that's the first and basic thing. You have to know what you're here for. Okay. See, you also have, when you pick your niche, then you just have to plan. You have to ask yourself, what's your target audience? Okay. So I'm a web developer and I'm planning to put out content based on web development. The first thing I should do is, to put myself out there as a web developer, write content on web development, but not just any content. Basically, it has to be something that it should be about the person reading. Okay, it should be something aimed at helping someone. If you come
Yeah.
online and the only thing you're doing is writing about yourself, okay, today I need let
I
me
think,
give you an
yeah.
example.
Yeah, I think you can do this if you're already famous. If you're already an actor,
Yeah,
you can do this. People could be interested
exactly,
in your life. But
exactly.
if you are nobody, like I'm still nobody. But I think that to get noticed, you need to be recognized for something. I'm thinking about maybe
exactly.
to create a thread on Twitter about all the people that I know that have really niched down.
Yeah,
In something. And I think that Santiago, Danny Thompson, they will be on this thread, also probably through you. Yeah.
yeah,
So this is great. This is great. And I think we are not here to say that this is simple. This could be super hard
yeah,
because
yeah,
maybe you're not super an expert in something. Maybe sometimes maybe you want to switch niche, so you struggle. Maybe should I change? Should I stay in this niche? At first, the Docker post they took like
yeah,
10 likes, even if I had a lot of people following me, because
yeah.
that was different. That was a different niche. Are you planning to stay on the growth hacking niche, so helping people to grow on social media, or are you still
Well,
choosing?
what I'm doing right now is for the growth hacking niche. I actually decided to pick on two niches, one for web development, the second for growth hacking.
Yeah,
So what I do is I do it weekly. Okay.
yeah,
So let me say next week I could be talking about web development, and the week after that I'll be
nice.
talking about growth hacking. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm planning on
yeah.
staying on
For
this niche.
yeah, for example, I don't have just Docker as niche. My
Yeah,
let's call them two niches. For me, are
yeah,
Docker, of course, and helping people to get out of a comfort zone, create content. Maybe you've noticed that.
yeah,
I would love now that I feel more comfortable. At least I'm not sweating anymore when I make a video call. I don't know about you, but for example, for me, the
Yeah.
beginning it was like that.
Yeah.
So now I really want to help people to just to start, because I think it's super hard just at the beginning. After a
Yeah.
while, you really get used and you can really, yeah, talk about yourself basically. And of
Yeah.
course, the video format is maybe one of the hardest to start, because you need to put out your face, your voice, everything. Basically, it's
You
different.
know.
And
You
Twitter
know.
is Twitter. I think it's the social media for introverts, because I think it's one of the reasons why I've grown a little bit, because you can start small, but this is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But the way I really like your style on social media, you made a lot of useful threads, posts. So I think you're like, I think when you are one of the accounts that, when it's not just about just a number of followers, but when
Yeah.
I've seen your profile, I hit the follow button. Yeah, yeah, as up, because I've seen that it's really valuable. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But and I think this is could be more important for small accounts rather than big accounts, because if you have a big account, you
Yeah.
can even post about your dog, your cat. You get hundreds of likes because of course you have a lot
Exactly.
of people following you. If you
Yeah.
want to get noticed, you need to put more effort. I remember that when I had like 500 followers, I need to put a lot of effort to maybe get 10
Yeah.
likes, and it's super hard. Yeah, in the beginning.
After you've gotten your niche, then you'll have to think about personal branding. Okay. Yeah. People would people would want to follow you. Okay. Not just for just your great content, but the fact that you stand out from basically everyone else is actually one reason why some hit that follow button. So yeah, so you have to build a personal brand. Like when people think about me, they're like, yeah, the yoga guy. So you have to have a name that someone can associate you with. You might be a dog lover or a Docker guy or the machine learning guy, that sort of stuff. So that sort of helps your online presence. It helps put you out there, differentiate you from other people around. Yeah. So I think that's what I can add.
Yeah, and I think that this is not easy, because we are all there. We all want
Yeah.
to get noticed. Of course, this is
Yeah.
not a secret.
Yeah.
But for example, I'm a super fan, as you probably know, about collaborations with other people. I never see other people like enemies. I will never
Yeah.
see you as my enemy because you are getting some likes. Never. I would really still, for example, I'm getting super interested when someone starts to grow and to get noticed. I would love even to help. Please follow favor. We will put some links in the description, because
Yeah.
it's I would love, yeah, to help you to just grow a little bit more. And of course, it
Yeah.
depends. It depends. And I usually say that, yeah, staying on social media is basically a job, at least a part-time job. It could also be a full-time job, but
Exactly.
let's say at least a part-time job if you want to take it
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. If you want to take it serious.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, being on Twitter, it actually takes a lot. You have to be consistent. You always have to be up
yeah.
with the trends. No, you also have to follow other people. You don't have to miss out on their tweets. You want to be the first person who replies this. Let me say, whenever you tweet out something, I always want to be the first to reply and stuff. So all that is work. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that I understand you pretty well, because yeah, yeah. For example, I'm a super fan of interactions. I try to interact, even if I've grown now a little bit more. I still like to DM people, to interact with
yeah,
them. Yeah, one by one. Sometimes it's super hard, but it's great. It's great to. I always talk about working on your connections, and also working on strong connections. No, so not just the numbers. It's fine. It means that you at least
yeah,
stay a lot of time on Twitter.
yeah,
For example, if you find some real friends, you can find some real friends. You can find a job.
yeah.
I've found two jobs, a lot of jobs on
Yeah,
Twitter. So this
yeah,
is really powerful media if you use this in the right way. And of course,
yeah.
you can use as I say, the social media also to share pictures of your cat and your dog. Is not a problem. But especially if you want to use it to find a job, You need to
Exactly.
show what you can do. You need to show your knowledge. I'm talking about when your account is small, if you are
Yeah.
struggling to find a job.
Twitter can be a very powerful networking tool. I mean,
Yeah,
when you're out there, yeah, when you're out there and you're always putting out great content, you're putting your work out on Twitter. I mean, potential recruiters could actually use your profile as sort of like a CV, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, so if your Twitter profile is well beautiful in content, I mean, I don't think finding a job would be that difficult anymore. Yeah,
yeah.
because you're out
I
there.
think, yeah, I think if you would have said this to me 2 years ago, I would have just laughed. So say, no, no, this is not possible. Like people are really checking social media profile. Then, when, for example, I've been also a recruiter for my company, and of course, once you get some CV and you get some people, the first thing that you do, at least for me as a recruiter, you check their social media. I think so. At
Yeah,
least you make a
exactly.
try if you remember about that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think a lot of people they don't think about this, but it's
yeah.
important. It's
It's very important actually.
super important. Super important if you want to use this. Yeah, as we said, to find something. And
Yeah,
I know a lot of people who find who found a job using Twitter. I've tried to help some of them. For example, I'm super happy when I try I help someone else to at
yeah,
least get noticed, get a job. So super happy about that. I've tweeted. There was a period when I was tweeting about that. Now I have a lot of other stuff to do, but also I think
yeah.
I've created a hashtag like RAM dev job, which was like a remote developer job,
Oh
something like
wow.
that. So, but this was like 2 years ago.
Oh,
So yeah, it's yeah.
no,
For example, I was shocked by the number of people who have not a job and they are actually currently looking for a job on social media. It's
yeah,
way more
yeah,
than when I was thinking about. So, for example,
yeah.
can we say something specific to them, to people that are on social media, not to relax, maybe just a little bit, but with the goal of finding a job? They are struggling to find a job. Can you help me to help
Okay,
them?
okay. So if you're searching for a job and you're always on social media, and you're trying to find a job through, say, Twitter, for instance. Well, what I would say to you is that you should treat your Twitter profile like as your resume. Okay, only post great content, whatever it is you've done, like your CSS arts. I mean, put everything there, and you should use it as a networking tool. Okay, you should use Twitter as a networking tool. So always DM people, but I mean, DM them and don't, I mean, don't go and DM them and be asking them for a job straight away. But like, just DM them, try to connect, stay in touch, uh, put out regularly, check up on them, make some friends, because a lot of people might have insights in where you could find a job, but just plain out asking them without being connected to them, they're not just gonna give you all the info like that. So just try to connect with as many people as possible. Try to have a lot of great content on your profile. Um, um,
Nice,
get noticed at least. And when you
nice.
have all of that, you could. I mean, I've seen this guy. I think Nacho, Nacho, right? Yeah, yeah.
He has
So
been
he
on my YouTube
actually,
channel, by the way. No.
yeah. I mean, he's the one who actually inspired what I'm saying right now. Because he actually I think he was a freelancer actually. He wasn't already having like a full-time job, and he puts all his content and everything on. He's always posting great stuff, putting out his work on Twitter. And when he was ready, he sent out a tweet, saying he's finally ready to look for a job, and I think that tweet went viral. So that was one avenue for him. He actually got a
Nice,
full-time job, and it was all because of Twitter. I mean, his work is already there for you to see. I mean, what more do you need? So if you're out there
nice.
looking for a job, just hang in there, keep putting out good content, keep your profile clean. I mean, potential recruiters are definitely going to check your feeds and stuff. So always keep it clean. make your profile attractive, but make your profile attractive. Use use great colors and other stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Now let me play the devil's advocate role, because I made some live streams and I can think
Okay.
about one question which could come from someone. And his question would be like, okay, Favor, but I put out some content and I get like no engagement. I get no likes. I feel a little bit depressed on social media. I want to stop. So what can I do? What do you suggest to do? Am I doing something wrong? We could get some question like that.
Okay, so if that's like your case, or if that's your problem, what I think could be like your profile. Uh, that's your bio, your Twitter header, your profile picture. When you're starting out and you put out some great content and stuff. I mean, I'm okay. Yeah, this content might help me. I might read this and be like, all right, this is cool. But I enter into your profile and there's nothing gives me a reason to follow you. That's actually a red flag. So if you're someone putting out maybe great content and you're not getting a lot of engagement, it could be that your profile is not attractive enough. I mean that's mostly the case. It's not always the case,
Yeah,
but I can say that that's mostly the
yeah.
case.
And I think
Another
this could also, yeah, sorry,
yeah.
go.
So another thing could be that you don't have a lot of follow accounts, and usually this is the case for everyone who is starting out.
Yeah.
You come on Twitter and you have 0 followers and you don't even know where to start from. If you're someone if you're a person who, okay, you go.
I think no, yeah, I was just saying that we should start with at least 1K followers. It would be easier.
Yeah, that could be easier. But I've seen people with like hundreds of thousands of followers who don't really get much engagement. I don't know why that's the case, but I'm just putting that out. So as I was saying, if you're someone who you're just starting out, basically maybe have
Mhm.
0 followers and stuff.
Yeah. For example,
Okay.
I made an experiment. I don't know if this could help, but for example, the Twitter algorithm, if you stop tweeting for like 3 days, 4 days in a row, starts to really don't like you. Like super active. Then I stopped for 2 days posting because it was my birthday.
Yeah.
I wanted to relax. I went out for a trip with my car. I posted after 2 days, and I got almost 0 engagement. So it means that the algorithm reminds you, for example, if you have not been on Twitter for a week, and it could happen, for example, especially if you
Yeah.
have
It's
not a
yeah.
huge account, so you should just start over again, and after a while you get you.
Yeah. Just be more
So
consistent, and
yeah,
the algorithm will pick you up again. I mean, that's one thing. What you're saying is actually true. I've noticed that when I was down with malaria, I think I was out for like 3 days. When I came back and I started posting again, the engagement wasn't as much as how previously I would get. I mean, before I was sick, I was doing about 130K engagement, like impressions a day, sometimes even more than that. But when I came back and I think I put out a tweet saying the reason why I wasn't active was because I had malaria and stuff. That tweet didn't really do well. Everything after that, it just like it was a gradual process of the impressions going back up,
yeah,
sort of. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean being inactive, it doesn't help.
Yeah, but for
Yeah.
example, I've noticed that if you become inactive, you don't lose a lot of followers. There are also some people
Yeah.
who maybe they get more followers when they're inactive. I'm joking, of course. But yeah, so this is not a problem. I have some friends who are no more active on Twitter, but they don't lose followers. Which are, for example, your plans for the future about social media, and of course about the other stuff. By the way, how are you now? Because you were sick. How are you now? You feel
Yeah.
better?
Yeah, I feel much better right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
But by the way, I got my second dose of vaccine today, a couple of hours ago. So for now, I feel good. Let's see.
that's
Yeah.
great. Over here, I think we're actually we have virtually no vaccines right now. I mean, it's embarrassing to say, but that's the reality. It's the only thing I think is it's good for us is that we don't have a lot of cases over here in Ghana. So yeah,
Okay.
but I do
Nice.
plan getting that vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's some plans for the future on social media and on
Yeah.
the on life, of course. Yeah.
Yes. So my plans in the future is to start a podcast. I mean, a YouTube channel just like you. Like that's been my dream. You know,
Okay.
when I started
Okay.
programming and when I started programming and stuff, I was always watching. Do you remember Bucky Roberts? The Bucky
I
Roberts, yeah.
He has been on my channel too.
Seriously.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I'm serious 100%. Bucky Roberts, the new
Yeah,
Boston.
Bucky Roberts. Yeah, yeah, the new Boston.
I think you have some episodes to watch after this.
Yeah, I have to start watching everything from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always been inspired by like his work and how he helps people through his videos, and I've always had that dream of starting something just like that one day.
That's amazing.
I mean, at first, I think the itch was YouTube. You know, starting a YouTube channel and always putting out your content there. But since I discovered podcasting, I've been crazy about it, and yeah,
Yeah.
so I plan on starting a podcast in addition to
Great.
building my social media presence.
Great. If you want to invite me, I'm open whenever you want. I can't say no. I have a rule. If I invite someone on my channel and they invite me, I can't say no. So this is a rule.
Yeah.
You just need to decide the day, maybe at the time. But I would be super happy
Oh,
if you want.
oh, trust me, you'll be my first guest.
Go on, go on. I would be super happy with that.
Yeah.
For example, I can say that in this podcast series, it was not planned at all. This is the episode 125 and 27. It will be. I don't know when I
Yeah.
release this. Yeah, so this was not planned at all, but I really enjoyed this. I think that an interview series could really help you. Okay, to get some views, some watching hours on YouTube. That's great.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is after a video call, like we're doing now, you feel the other person in a total different way. When you see their
Yeah.
tweets, when you send a DM, for me, it's a totally different story. I'm sure that after this video call, we will be even more stronger connected. So I
Yeah.
was really looking forward for this. So this is the main reason. And also to practice a
Yeah.
little bit English never hurts if you're not on native language speaker. Yeah, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So I'm looking forward to for your podcast. If you want any suggestions, I'm not a super expert, but I made some. So I made a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes, so you can learn from my
Yeah. Yeah.
mistakes.
I mean, I would
They'll get
really have to learn a
a
lot
little
from
bit
you.
better. But if you see the first one, it's really awkward because it wasn't even an interview. It was just me talking with a friend like this.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now maybe I think I've improved a little bit, but you can always improve. And yeah, it's a good way
Yeah.
to connect with other people. You can invite
Yeah.
more people. People will start sending you DM like, "I want to be on your
Yeah.
podcast series,"
Exactly.
and that's it. It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
Great, great favor. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Whenever. Okay, so I think that we are almost done. Usually, for example, at the end of an interview of an episode, I would like to leave you the opportunity to leave a final message to people that are watching this. I think that you are a very useful person. You have a very good branding, so you are doing great on Twitter. Please check him. I'll put some links in the description.
Thank-
Yeah, so how can we close this episode for people that would like to improve their branding?
For those of you who are, trying to build your personal brand, what I suggest you do is connect with people. Actually, when you tweet about whatever it is your niche is, if you're a web developer, I mean, it's cool to always have web development tweets out there, but from time to time, try to switch to something totally off topic. Actually, like Jack, for instance. I mean, Jack is a web developer, but he's always He's always tweeting funny stuff. And that's sort of solidifies his personal brand,
Jack
as
Forge,
web
Jack
developer.
Forge, do you mean?
Yeah, Jack Forge. Yes, exactly, Jack Forge. As
Of course,
the
of
as the
course,
web,
he has been on my channel,
uh,
of course.
of course. Yeah. So that's sort of solidifies his his personal brand as the web developer who is a funny guy. Okay, and yeah, that's just one thing you should keep in mind. Another thing is creating an inviting profile. I wouldn't want to say a beautiful profile, but I mean a profile that actually gives somebody gives your readers a reason to follow you. Okay, so
Exactly.
in my case, I used this yellow color. I mean, and it sort of helped my brand. People call me the yellow guy, and yeah, I actually like hearing that. Yeah, and
It's great.
it's when you have that sort of concept in people's mind about you, it sort of propels you up, and it comes in handy when people are always scrolling through their phones and no one really has time for to pause and want to read a lot of stuff. But when they scroll and when they just keep scrolling and there's this how am I going to put this ocean of content out there for them to look at. When they see that yellow color, I mean, it catches their eyes and they actually stop to try to hear what I'm talking about. And from time to time, if you are consistent, always tweeting, putting out like the best content you can come up with, and people start to notice you, and you've sort of caught their eyes with that okay branding of yours. I mean, that's enough to draw some followers to you. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
that's one thing. I would say create an inviting profile. Use your use a color scheme. If you don't want to use a color scheme, I mean, you can just have your face on your profile picture, but your Twitter header should give your readers a reason to follow you. Okay, I've seen this trend of, I mean, similar to what I've done. I have this. You can check out my profile though if you want to. If you want
Yeah.
to know more about what I'm saying. So I have this favor on a software developer and content creator. Yeah, some people actually use the Twitter headers with an arrow pointing to the follow button. So it's guiding your eyes to what he wants what that particular person wants his readers to do, which is to follow him. And I think, yeah, another thing should be your Twitter bio. Okay, your Twitter bio should just give like a brief description about you, like who you are, what you do. You shouldn't keep your readers, looking around your profile longer than 10 seconds. I mean, longer than 10 seconds, they'll just scroll away. You get it? So you should keep in mind that first 10 seconds of a reader visiting your profile is the difference between that person following you and that person not following you. You get it? So if you play your cards right, you've got you've got uh, you've got a captivative profile, Twitter banner, a nice, well, yeah, a nice profile picture, a good bio describing yourself. I think that's a good way to go. Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's that's gonna draw some people into your profile. And yeah, yes, one other advice I would give is that even though you have few followers, you should at least try to put out some threads, okay, or probably a few one-liners. I mean, they don't have to have much engagement. They don't have to have a lot of likes. They don't have to have a lot of retweets. They just have to have fun. Okay. So, I mean, say you're a web developer, you could do something like 5 websites to find your next job, sort of, you know, and just put that out there and pin it to the top of your profile. You can just make that a pin tweet, because when people enter your profile, some of them just want to know like what you're what you're tweeting about. Okay, you're a web developer, but are you really tweeting about web development? You know, and when they enter your profile and they don't really find much content, they might just think that you're just another spam account or something, or you're just a consumer like them. A lot of people actually follow for content. So yeah, so I would recommend that you just put out some threads, probably some one-liners about what exactly it is you're doing, and they should add like some value. Okay, so and yeah, that's one thing. And
Perfect.
there's one other thing which is with retweeting. Okay, when you are starting out and you want to be a content creator, I mean, you can retweet things that you yourself find very valuable. Okay, but you shouldn't just your first 10 tweets shouldn't be retweets. It makes you look spammy. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people doing that. I mean, someone would DM me and be like, please review my account and tell me what it is I'm doing wrong, how I can improve my account. And when I enter into their profile, apart from just noticing that their Twitter header and their profile pictures are not there, they don't have a bio. The other thing I always realize is that they are just retweeting every single thing they come across. And I mean, it's not bad. I'm not against retweeting. I mean, I do retweets,
That
and
was
I
me. That was me 7 years ago, basically. Yeah. You are
yeah.
talking about my Twitter account, but because I didn't use Twitter for this purpose, for example.
Yeah,
Just to I tweet some Elon Musk stuff, I think, something like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's normal with Elon Musk. Everyone retweets his stuff, whether But yeah, but that's the whole thing. I mean,
Nice.
have an inviting profile, make your profile, make your profile attractive, have a nice pin tweet out there, use a good color scheme if necessary. Uh, don't
Nice.
don't just retweet everything. Like always try to have
Yeah.
some good original content out there. And
Yeah.
one other thing I would say is if you have less than 200 followers and you've done everything I said you should do, don't keep writing more tweets. There's someone said something to me and I think it's very true. When you are starting out on Twitter and you are writing and you're just tweeting a lot of stuff, whether good or bad, you're basically tweeting into the void. You get it? Like
Yeah.
the algorithm will not pick you up. I mean, it could
Yeah.
pick you up if let me say a larger account likes or comments on under your tweet. I mean, that's just a probability. But but
Yeah.
at first, don't tweet a lot. Rather, follow some more larger accounts and just turn on
Nice.
notifications and always be the first person to reply
Yeah.
them. I
This is
mean,
nice.
that's actually how I started doing.
Yeah, I can say from my perspective, just a couple of things very fast. Then I think that we'll close and we will make an episode 2 soon. But the first thing is that if you create, let's say, a super useful post, okay, thread, you get like 3 likes because you have 10 people following you. I use random numbers. There
Yeah,
are a lot of stuff. First of all, you can use the thread in the future. Maybe after 6 months, you can reuse that content. Maybe also improve this, so it's not a total waste. And the second thing is that if a bigger profile of anyone basically checks your profile, they start to scroll. So maybe they could find that thread in the timeline. So this is
yeah,
not wasted time. I think there are way worse ways to waste your time rather than create a super useful thread. Maybe we are talking about to get some likes in the moment. Sometimes we want like an immediate answer, but sometimes it takes time to get
yeah,
noticed. It's not something that happens
yeah. It takes
overnight.
time. It takes time.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I kept tweeting for about 2 months, constantly replying everyone, and I didn't get that much traction. I mean, all this like
I
sort
don't
of
know.
Twitter fame,
Yeah,
it
sometimes,
was just recent.
yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes it started to happen something strange. For example, one bigger, just a little bigger account starts to follow you. For example, if I've seen that a lot of my friends follow already someone, I'm more used, more
yeah,
likely to you to follow that. So maybe you just need to start with something, and
yeah.
that's it. And by the way, I don't know if in the
Yeah.
meanwhile my background changed just a little bit, but
Yeah. I mean, the jig is up. The blue colors are up.
I I think that by talking with you more than 30 minutes, my lights they switched. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yellow.
I
Isn't
think I
that
think that I think
interesting?
that you need this as soon as possible for your
Oh,
podcast.
interesting.
I think that you need
Uh,
this, or you need to
oh,
repaint your wall, something like that.
I'm actually at work. That's why I had to. I'm working on a Saturday.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, if I was, at home and uh, I think I would make it a yellow kid. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's. I didn't want to say that word out yet.
But
Yellow
yeah,
kid.
I just the very last question, favor. But is this your first video on YouTube, or you have done other videos?
No, this is my very first time.
Yes, yes. So you have
I
the
haven't,
first one.
I
I'm super
haven't,
happy.
I haven't
Great,
done one of this before. I'm
great,
super
great.
nervous right now.
No problem, no problem. I totally understand you. I think my first video call has been on the 3rd of August 2020. So yeah, less than 1 year ago, I was waiting, but it was not recording, just a video call on Zoom with my friends.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump on that. I don't know. My brain is a bit strange. I am super nervous at the beginning, and now I'm
Yeah.
relaxed. So this is one of the reasons why I want to help people. For now, I'm doing this for free to get out. Yeah, one of the main reasons.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that we are done. Favor. This has been really great. Yeah, I hope. Please let's keep in touch. Follow him, of
Yeah.
course. We'll put some links. Come on. Yeah. So I really wish you best luck. We have recorded that I could be your first guest in your podcast. I would love to
I
be the
mean,
first or one of the first ones. So please consider me because maybe I've been a host too many times. Now people are starting to they want me as a guest. So here I am.
don't
Whatever you
worry.
want. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you for
We are
this. I
done.
mean, thanks for having me, Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are
really
done.
appreciate this
We are
opportunity.
done.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Wait.